2024, 7 p.m. in the High School Media Center. Please join me in the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Folks, I apologize. I forgot my glasses, so I think I'll get there, but bear with me. This meeting is being recorded for district purposes. It is or may be published in part or in its entirety on the district's website without the express permission of meeting participants. May I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Fisher?
Here.
Mrs. Fitzko? Mrs. Kehoe?
Here.
Mr. Kovacevic?
Here.
Mr. Metz? Mrs. Romasco?
Kelly? Kelly is joining us via phone this evening. Kelly, can you hear me? Okay, I'm going to put you on speakerphone again here. Hold on a second. Okay, Kelly, you're on.
Mrs. Romasco?
Here.
Miss Young? Mr. Zachary?
Here.
Mr. Carpenter?
Here. All right, thank you. Sunshine Law, please.
The Board of School Directors held an executive session on Wednesday, October 9th to discuss personnel matters, matters subject to attorney-client privilege and other confidentiality laws, litigation or threat litigation matters, salary schedule, and labor relations.
Okay, thank you. Any correspondence?
No correspondence.
Any amendments to the agenda? Okay, with that, I believe we have Mr. Mario Leon from Ambridge Borough Manager for a presentation this evening. Thank you for being here, and the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, President Carpenter, Dr. Pasquarella, Solicitor, and board members. On behalf of Ambridge Borough Council, I want to thank you for providing this opportunity for us to discuss some of the borough matters. In particular, items 3 and 4 on your agenda on the finance and budget. Kind of sideways, so maybe they'll hear. So I have some notes and I want to be respectful of your time. I see you have a long agenda, so I'll talk as much as you want about these items, but pause me, ask any questions you may have. But in regards to the 12 acres that we're asking for the tax exoneration for the acres, you may have already seen we put an outdoor fitness court on it. We have plans in the coming weeks to plant 15 trees, 2 sets of outdoor cornhole, and future visions to put pickleball and bocce courts and, whatever else the community, comes forward with that the site would fix. So we're already using that 4 acres as recreational purposes. The 8 acres, which are located at the corner of 14th and New Economy, kind of in reference, it's the property right across from the 911 center. We have future plans there to build a multi-generational facility that will be a senior center / recreational complex. We've currently secured $4.5 million in RCAP state funding for it. And we have another $5 million currently pending in grants for the facility. We anticipate this facility to be in about that $9 to $16 million range. And of course, depending on how the grant funding comes in, we could do this in phases as well. Any questions in regards to any of those properties?
The cornhole, that's by the mural that was recently painted with the help of the school district, or is the cornhole associated with the athletic pad?
Yes, that the cornholes will be going on where the outdoor fitness pad is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 4 acres will maintain as a green space for the community, is what you're saying?
Yeah, and we may utilize some of that area could transition to parking to augment activity at the Indoor.
Multi-generational athletic
Yeah.
facility. Now, the athletic facility, is that going to be managed by another organization or is that going to be managed by the borough?
The intent would,
Meaning, will it generate taxes in the future?
yeah, so that final determination has not been made, but we're foreseeing that we don't want to be in the business of operating an indoor sports facility, so that will be probably contracted out more than likely. And then obviously the revenue generated from that will pay down some of the debt for the facility. There's a possibility that there could be a windfall from it. I don't want to be real optimistic that that'll occur, but in the event that it does, and there are funds on the table, we can certainly entertain discussions on those. However, the intent of this facility is really to augment some of the stuff that the school district's already doing from a recreational sports scenario. And the intent is to make this as affordable for our students, whether it's scholarshiping them to participate in the indoor facilities or not. So I think it would be kind of a benefit to the school district, whether it generated money or not.
So you're identifying it as an augmentation to the facilities that we provide to the community through the school district now. Has there been discussions with the school district of how you're planning on doing that?
No, it's still in the preliminary stages. We still have not identified whether this facility will be basketball, volleyball, baseball, soccer, hockey. We do have another grant that's in the background here. It's an EPA grant that we are doing. We're going to be probably early 2025 doing some feasibility studies to seeing what the market best thing. There's a lot of stuff happening. There's a recent, when we first acquired the property, Leedsdale got the basketball. So is there a market for more basketball courts? And then recently there was an announcement in Hopewell Township Center area with that indoor facility as well. So, and there might be another one on the horizon that we don't know. So we got to study all those conditions and then determine, what the best.
And I think that's part of our concern is, was a tax generating parcel. It's a very favorable location, which is why I'm sure you guys are also identifying it. I was going to bring up the Rise facility in Leedsdale. It's what, 1.5 miles from our border, if that,
Right.
to get there. And I do believe quite a few of our students also participate in that area. And we continue to look at what our facilities are and what should we maintain and why should we maintain them. We have a field house with bleachers that, could definitely benefit from repair. Which would then maximize our ability to utilize that space as well. And one of your responses you gave to us is we could hold commencements there. That's also why we have our facilities here. So, duplication of that and giving up that potential tax base, which also helps keep our taxes down in the district, as I'm sure, as well as within Ambridge, you would
Right.
do, which is why, such a prime piece of real estate, whereas if there is a grand plan, in my opinion, and I'm not speaking for everybody, for myself, we just want to make sure that this is the right move for us to grant that, because we feel that there could be tax generation that helps us in balancing future budgets as well as future development of the community. Maybe not something specifically directed by the borough, which a lot of fantastic work is being done across the borough. I saw that
Right.
you have EV stations being put in one of your open air parking lots today. But it's, we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing for the school district as well as the students. We get that providing an avenue and a location for them to engage, and as well as help with the multi-generations of the district, because everybody pays their property taxes, which helps fund the school. We just want to make sure that we're doing the right thing here as a perspective of how are we going to future generate, how are we going to offset the rising costs and everything that we have. It's quite a bit of property for us to hope that in the future that we will have a tax basis to come back to the
Sure.
community.
Sure. No, I appreciate your comments, and we thought long and hard on this as well before we acquired the property. And, as you may have been benefactors too, there was a lot of ARPA money that was out there, and we had to find uses to utilize those funds or use them. And we saw this opportunity for this property to redevelop it in a positive way for the borough. We believe that this facility, although that 8 acres will be not taxable, and it's still possible that portions of these 8 acres could be taxable. Again, not having a conceptual of what we're actually going to build there and what sport. There could be residual property there that could be a hotel, that obviously that hotel would generate tax dollars. There could be a medical component that is married into this facility as well, that any portion of that building could become taxable. So we don't know exactly what it looks like. As the property stands there right now, it's just virgin ground. Nothing's happening there. And we just felt that it would be more proactive for the borough to gain control of it so that we can dictate what the future of that land holds, as opposed to leaving it there. Previous to my tenure here, there was a BMAC proposal on the property that the community didn't want a truck repair in the middle, and whether it was good or bad, it would have generated tax dollars and could have been, but was it the best use of the property? So we still have a lot more discussions on it. But that's kind of an overview of where we're at. Of course, the 4 acres, we're already using it as recreational. So I think that would meet, granting that.
Sure.
The 8 acres is just vacant land. To meet that threshold from a county status, yeah, we can put park benches and picnic tables and call it green space. But we want to be sincere and candid what our vision is here. And as we get closer to it, I would hope that we engage more dialogue to see what your needs are, and see how we can fill that gap.
The other property on the other side of town, what is that space now? Because there were 2 parcels that are being asked for. One is 0 Merchant Street, and the other, one. Is 0 Merchant Street on that side of town?
No, 0 Merchant Street is actually the outdoor
That's
fitness.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure which way it went. I kept looking, I can't figure out
Yeah,
what this is. So that helps drastically as well. The other question that comes into this is, we have a few items, five different parcels that
Mhm.
Borough is looking to also purchase at this time. It's in our agenda. I guess, or is the borough looking just to acquire all the properties again so that if they own the town?
Yeah, so I have some notes here that was the other item I wanted to talk to you about. So there is a nonprofit organization called Reclaim in Beaver County. They were successful applicants for some of the shell mitigation funding when they had that occurrence. They obtained a $500,000 grant, and the purpose of the grant is for blight remediation in Beaver County. We were fortunate to collaborate with them, and they are going to allocate the demolition of 5 properties in the borough of Ambridge. They've committed to that. Right now, the request that we are asking on the repository is the demo 3 properties. At a future date, you'll be getting potentially 2 more property requests for demolition. There's 5 on there. 2 of the properties, 505 and 511 Glenwood. That's currently a lot, but if you remember approximately 3 years ago, there were 5 row houses there. They caught fire. The borough expended a little over $65,000 to clean that mess up because no one individual was able to just demo their property without affecting the other. So we aggregated all of their insurance monies and escrows. The borough's into it a little over 30,000 because one of the houses didn't have any insurance. So we've acquired one of the deeds for the properties. 2 of the properties, your solicitor will appreciate this. The 2 owners are now deceased. So in order to obtain those, going through their estates it would be costly, timely. The one gentleman, his is a young child. The grandmother doesn't want the grandchild to go through all this. And so they're very complicated. So we actually waited for the repository. It was easier just to get these through the repository. So those 2. And then the other 2, we are still working on going through the legalese, and those property owners are alive, and they're willing to transfer. It's just, we've got to go through the legal process of
Okay.
getting that done. Once we acquire all five, it's the borough's intent to put that parcel on the block as one developable parcel and hopefully, maybe a duplex or something. But as each individual lot lies, nobody can do anything with it. So that's our plan and intent with that. And then, and then there's three properties that we're looking to demo. The Glenwood 4 rear, that will be demoed, and it's a very small lot. We would hope that when we put it out for bid, one of the neighbors just buy it for a little extra yard space.
Gotcha.
Really not developable. And the same with 308 Park rear. It's another very small lot. I believe I sent pictures, and if you looked at them, it's a small parcel. We would put that out for bid, hoping that one of the adjacent property owners would buy that. The 407 Melrose, that is the property that sits right above the ice cream therapy shop next to the church. That one, there's some interest of the borough to possibly creating a municipal parking lot with that space as well. Parking's a challenge in the borough with the units above the storefronts. We think that might alleviate, some of that. So there is an intent for that parcel that the borough will retain that and use for parking. Yeah. On the 8 acres for the development, we are going to have to start moving relatively rapidly because the 4.5 funding in our cap, it does have a sunset on it. It's like 10 years, but I think we're almost 2 years into that. And we need to start moving on it. There's some other ideas and thoughts. There's another nonprofit called Crop and Kettle that used to be in Ambridge. They are also recipients of some grant funding. Their program, they educate their students on how to grow crops and cook food. They could be connected to this facility where they may be the concessionaire for the facilities as well. And they're a nonprofit, so necessarily wouldn't generate tax dollars. But to get this thing lifted and get something built, the challenge is we received $4.5 million, but the borough has to get 4.5 to match that. So we got the grant was the easy part. The hard money's the challenging part. So we may aggregate with other partners in this. That nonprofit can be one. It's going to be a senior center as well. That's one of the things that kind of we got the funding for because it's easier to get funding for. If you call it a senior center, than you call it a recreation center, being transparent. But when the students are in school, the facility's there, and those of older age can take advantage of some of the space. We're working with a housing developer that it's possible because we can go up above this facility, putting apartment units above it. That would be taxable, but a lot of this gets real tricky. Who owns the land and carving that all out. But we're trying to get as creative as possible to make this as economically beneficial for the borough and the school district and the whole community. Because, we want that property to generate tax dollars or some type of economic. Yeah, we're in the same
boat.
yeah,
Same
we're in the same boat. Yep. So that addresses, I think, the items on the agenda. And I don't want to take much more of your time, but just kind of highlight a couple things that are going on in the borough. It's a total of 12. There's a 4 acre and an 8 acre. So there is, yeah, it's a total of 12 acres, 4 and 8. Well, the 4 acres is already under development. It's already recreational. Yep. Now, we're not using all 4 acres of it, but we started with the outdoor sports complex and growing it with the cornhole. And we're going to be writing grants for the pickleball and watching. So.
Any questions? Okay. She said the acres down there was-
It's already being developed. Yeah.
already-
Yeah. I wish I could give you a specific time on the 8 acres, but it's still a work in progress. But we keep building on it. Yeah. Yeah, just want to kind of bring you up to date on some positive things that are happening as well. And yeah. So obviously, when you've driven through town, we've got the $4 million streetscape project going on that we think is greatly going to improve the aesthetics of the town. And it's going to be amazing. I think if somebody hasn't been in Ambridge in recent years, when they come back, it's almost to the point where they're not going to recognize it. So very excited about that. And I think that, helps the school district as well in raising the total look of the town. We recently got awarded a $1.9 million grant to improve the 8th Street corridor off of 65. Kind of give you a thought and idea when you come across the Swickley Bridge going into Swickley, a nice gateway getting up to town. We hope to make that kind of appearance off of 65, just making it more attractive doorway into our community. We also recipients of a $500,000 EPA grant, and it's an area-wide brownfield grant. And those are a lot of the dollars that we're leveraging for the financial feasibility study for this complex, because it's all brownfield. And some of the designing and all that is going to come out of the EPA grant funding. And the consultants will be reaching out to the school district and probably Dr. Pasquarelli, yourself, just for comments and what your needs are and some thoughts and stuff. Also, with this EPA area, we have the large former fly ash dump off of 989. We are looking at the possibilities of creating that into a housing development, which I hope that would excite you all. Again, there will be a market feasibility study as to what type of housing would be most suitable for it. It could be a 55 and older community. Obviously, it's not bringing students into your classrooms, but it will bring a significant amount of tax dollars and probably not a lot of additional costs to things. So we don't know what it's going to look like. The feasibility study will kind of give a potential developer an idea, and we have to determine that it can be developed. There was a preliminary site plan for townhouses and condos through that. It's gorgeous. That property is beautiful with the view up there and everything. I think it could be a really neat community. And then we have the Walter Panic Park right there for people and a golf course right at the top. But so we think it's going to be a potential for an exciting development. Cross fingers that it will be developable for housing. Kind of going a little deeper on it. If it's not, it's possible that we move Walter Panic Park onto that property and develop Walter Panic Park into a neighborhood community. So hopefully some of these visions and ideas offset what we're looking to do on the 8-acre tract. We are in your same boat as I said earlier, to try and generate additional tax dollars as well. So that's the EPA grant. Another one is part of the EPA grant. We're looking at doing what we're referencing as the 19th Street bypass. The 19th Street bypass is down at the other gateway where the outdoor fitness court is built. There's a paper street back there, 19th Street. 19th Street meets Dust Avenue, where the Dust Avenue Cafe and the Dollar General's at. The purpose of this is to alleviate the stress of the large trucks that are coming up 989 and passing the high school property here. The amount of kids we've got walking to school and the garbage trucks and all the tractors, they would all be 989 would then be detoured. It would be down at 19th Street, and that would be the new 989. So we're working with PennDOT on that, and I think that's another asset that, greatly benefits the school district. And a couple other nights, just to reiterate, I want to thank you for letting us locate the SUFA kiosks out front of the school, but let's take advantage of it. Please send me whatever information you can. We'll push it to those, and we have 4 other ones in town to promote your school activities. And then you mentioned the mural on 5th Street, that park. We are going to received a $7,500 placemaking grant through the PA Realtors Association. We're going to put a large lawn chess set out there. They're like 3-foot high chess pieces, and it's about 12 by 12 pad. And then we've got 2 concrete tables with inlaid checkerboard chess patterns that play. So I know you have a chess club here. We would hope to invite them down to the ribbon cutting of it and have some kind of chess tournament and just promoting chess in the community and hopefully raising the standards of our youth and adults. It's one of those events that, you can have old people working with our youth and teaching them how to play chess. And again, that whole multi-generational, just trying to bring our older population in with the youth. But I could go on with things. I know you have a long meeting. I'll be glad if there's any other questions. Otherwise, yeah. And I've been here 4 years. Probably should have did it sooner. And then maybe it's something we get on the agenda where we do it biannually, quarterly, whatever. And I know how much you like going to meetings at night, but maybe it's a reciprocated. The school board comes to the council and kind of lets us know whether it's you, Dr. Pasquarella, or president. Just keep. I know Chief and Dr. Pasquarella have a fantastic working relationship, and he constantly communicates with it. So we are working well together, but there's always room for. So thank you.
An opportunity for residents to comment business relative to the Ambridge Area School District under old and new business. End of the meeting.
We'll just get tilted that far. I'll just hold it. Thank you, Christian. Sure. I don't know what to say. How many tall people in my family? Okay. Christina Briola, Ridge Road, Harmony Township. I was looking at the agenda, and I'm asking for the board to have some transparency. Right now, every position that's posted, contract is posted, salary is posted fully. Dr. Pasquarella's salary is not posted. It is saying that he is, his compensation will be adjusted. That is not posted. There are no goals. There are no goals posted on the website. There are no performance standards. There's no transparency that has been requested multiple times by multiple citizens, not just including myself. But noticing that we are hiring
three, three teachers and a curriculum director, that information is posted for them. Now, teachers, are, how we are evaluated is public knowledge. Our specific evaluations, I think, may be private outside of the designation that we get as being, satisfactory or unsatisfactory. But we're not seeing any of that. Repeatedly, citizens from this community have requested that that information be put on the website. It is not on the website. Will that be posted, and what is the date that that will be posted on the website, and when will we have that information as residents of this community?
The website contains what is required, which is whether or not a superintendent has met his or her performance goals. And the answer is yes, that has been posted on the website for the 23-24 school year, and it was posted in all previous years as well. It identifies the areas that Dr. Pascarella is evaluated.
And where is that
Domains
located? I'm
that-
sorry.
and I believe there are there are a number of categories that are described specifically on the website. It is in a paragraph form, and annually there are specifically negotiated items that that the board and Dr. Pascarella, as a matter of his contract, work on and collaborate, and then he is measured up against those items. He provides proof and justification to the board. The board determines whether or not those have been met and to what degree. The board has done so for the 23-24 school year and all prior years. So the information, I understand that there's an interest on the part of the public and others to have to see more than what is provided. What is provided has been the same amount of information for every year that I'm aware of, or I believe that I've sat in this seat, and it is what is appropriate for his role.
Yet compensation was not mentioned in the July agenda or the July minutes. Although I was not at the meeting, that wasn't there. Once I came back from vacation, I noticed that. But Dr. Filipowski's was, Mr. Amadeo, who was just recently hired as administrator, was Mrs. Amadeo's, or as an administrator. Our new tech person, all of that information was posted clearly in the agendas and in the board minutes, and we are not seeing that anywhere. That seems suspicious to me, as well as several other people in this community as they have spoken. So
So it's actually a very straightforward matter. Dr. Pascarella's compensation is driven by what he attains on his performance evaluation. There's a percentage that is clearly stated in his contract, depending on what level of achievement he has reached. And so if you go to his original if you go to his contract and determine what
is that
level
contract
of
available?
his contract is a public record if requested under the right to know law.
Okay. And that right to know application is on the website?
Yes, I believe.
Okay, that will
We
be
have a
received,
stated one.
that will be received by the district tomorrow. Thank you.
I did just have one question. You did mention, how many years have you been, and you think the solicitor here?
Enough.
I always have to think about like the age of my youngest child and then add a year or two.
Okay.
So I believe that I've had the privilege of sitting in this chair for at least 6 going on 7 years.
Okay, it's just I just wanted to clarify that that is, just to be transparent to the public, always how it has been, like there was no change. Boards didn't make a change to say, we're trying to keep that off the website. or-
No, and that is in that time period, is an exclusive to Dr. Pascarella in that seat. There, it has been the same for prior superintendents.
that I'm aware, again, within the scope of my representation and my role with you, as well as multiple boards. And it's consistent across other school districts as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, any other commentary? Moving on to legislative action for this evening, then. Education and technology. Mrs. Romescu is joining us remotely, so I'm going to read for her. A little further away. Blue ribbon. It is recommended Melissa Raymer and 2 additional district employees to be determined be approved to attend the 2024 National Blue Ribbon Schools Recognition Ceremony being held at the Omni Shoreham Hotel in Washington, D.C. from November 7th, 2024 through November 8th, 2024. The ceremony will recognize Economy Elementary School as being named one of the prestigious 2024 National Blue Ribbon Schools by the United States Department of Education. The National Blue Ribbon Schools program recognizes schools that excel academically. All expenses, including registration fees, travel, lodging, and meals, will be paid as per Board Policy 331, job-related expenses. And I believe that we would all like to congratulate the Economy Elementary staff and all the kids and everybody that contributes to what a great job they've done. Number 2, Sunbelt Staffing LLC agreement. It's recommended to approve a staffing agreement between the Ambridge Area School District and Sunbelt Staffing LLC to provide contracted services with Voco Vision for the provision of bilingual psychologist services on an as-needed basis. This is at a rate of $130 per hour. With that, any questions?
Do we have an anticipated number of hours we're expecting to utilize Sunbelt?
For this, so this will only be utilized for students who need assessments administered in Spanish language. Right now, currently only have 1 student who would need it for probably less than 10 hours. But you know, we would have this contract throughout, so should it arise, a typical evaluation usually doesn't go over 10 hours.
So right now, we're utilizing for Spanish speaking only,
Yes,
and we do have a population of Portuguese speaking.
we just don't have any right
We just-
now, but
Okay,
also this company nor any other company has a Portuguese speaking psychologist. We've been trying to prepare for that. There is one that we're aware of in all of Pennsylvania. We can use other states if they get credentialed.
okay.
But the one that does exist in Pennsylvania is currently unavailable to contract with. But we are still working.
So current needs only specify us needing Spanish. We don't need other languages
Correct.
at this time. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? With that, I'd like to move to approve 1 through 2. Thank you. Roll, please.
Mrs. Fisher,
Yes.
Mrs. Kehoe,
Yes.
Mr. Kovacevic,
Yes,
Mrs. Romasco.
Yes.
Mr. Zachary,
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Reading from Ms. Young.
I'll do it. Unless she wants to, that's a lot.
Whatever.
I'm gonna go pretty fast. That's okay.
Whatever you'd like.
But if you would read the whole thing.
Get all of it. Personnel. All new hires pending receipt of satisfactory and current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening and PD certifications if applicable. The Board of School Directors assessed the superintendent's performance and determined that he met the agreed to performance standards for the 2023-2024 school year. His compensation for the 24-25 school year will be adjusted consistent with his employment agreement. Number 1, coordinator of curriculum, instruction, and assessment. It is recommended to hire Megan Wadelet as the coordinator of curriculum, instruction, prorated annual salary of $100,000, effective date to be determined as per the terms of the Act 93 agreement. pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing, and responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening and PDE certifications if applicable. Professional employees. It is recommended to retroactively approve Nicole Feely as the Ambridge Area High School All Elementary School Health and Physical Education teacher at a salary of $48,971, Step 1 Bachelor, effective October 9th, 2024, as the terms of the Ambridge Area Education Association AAEA-PSEA agreement, pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing, and responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening and PDE certifications if applicable. Professional employee. It is recommended to retroactively approve Joey Dussault as an Ambridge Area High School learning support, emotional support, autistic support, life skills, transition, special education teacher at the salary of $51,171. Step 1 Masters plus 30, effective October 8th, 2024, as per the terms of the Ambridge Area Education AAEA-PSEA agreement, pending receipt of the current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing, and responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening and PDE certifications if applicable. Professional employee. It is recommended to retroactively approve Michael Falgione as the Ambridge Area High School chemistry teacher at a salary of $49,881, Step 1 Masters, effective October 7th, 2024, as per the terms of the Ambridge Area Education Association AAEA-PSEA agreement, pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing, and responses, God bless you, by current former employers to Act 168 screening and PDE certification if applicable. Posted positions, clubs, and activities. It is recommended to the following individual who has applied for the specified position for the 2024-25 school year be approved at the rate of pay as per the collective bargaining agreement, provided the school year allows the sponsors can hold activities as normal. Activity Club Middle School Yearbook, Jordan Simpson, salary $470. 2024-2025 spring coaches. It is recommended the following individual be approved to fill the designated spring coaching position for the 2024-25 school year at the salary as per terms of the collective bargaining agreement, pending receipt of the current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing, and responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening, provided the school year allows coaches to hold spring sports as normal. Softball, Joseph Georgakis, volunteer coach, stipend, no remuneration. Technology integrators. It is recommended to approve the following individual to serve as the technology integrator in their assigned building for the 2024-25 school year to be paid a stipend of $1,200 as per the collective bargaining agreement. State Street Elementary, Tim Burish. ABC Transit bus driver aide. It is recommended to approve the individuals listed as operators, attendance, and maintenance for ABC Transit Inc. for the 2024-25 school year, pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing, and responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening. Heather Villela, van driver. Jacob Clausen, van driver. Tanya Hayes, van driver. Denise Stasiowski, van driver. Patricia Steels, van driver. Barbara Schmidley, aide. FMLA. It is recommended to ratify employee number 27 taking an intermittent leave of absence under board policy 435, family and medical leave, October 8th, 2024, not to exceed 60 days. 10, FMLA. It is recommended to ratify employee 2381 taking an intermittent leave of absence under board policy 535, family and medical leave, beginning September 13th, 2024, not to exceed 60 days. FMLA. It is recommended Number 11, FMLA. It is recommended to ratify employee 1764 taking an intermittent leave of absence under board policy 535, family and medical leave beginning October 8th, 2024, not to exceed 60 days. Number 12, resignation. It is recommended to approve resignation of Megan Fitzgerald from her position as Ambridge Area School District Psychologist, grades K through 12, effective November 25th, 2024, with regret. Number 13, resignation. It is recommended to approve the resignation of Kristen Luciari Lowe's from her position as a kitchen worker at State Street Elementary, effective October 11th, 2024, with regret. Number 14, resignation. It is recommended to ratify the resignation of Timothy Richards from his position as hall monitor at the middle school, effective September 21st, 2024, with regret. Number 15, Slippery Rock University student teacher. It is recommended to approve Carson Gabbard, a Slippery Rock University student for student teaching at Highland Elementary for the fall semester pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing, and responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening. Carson will be placed with Jennifer Shannon. Number 16, district dentist. It is recommended to approve Brittany Canole as the district dentist for the 2024-25 school year, pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug test, TB testing, and responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening. Number 17, permanent contracts. It is recommended the following professional employee who has completed 3 years of satisfactory service in the Ambridge Area School District as the effective date designated be given permanent professional contracts. Michelle Hooten, October 13th, 2024. Are there any questions? Do I have a motion? Do I have a first?
Roll, please.
Mrs. Fisher,
Yes.
Mrs. Kehoe,
Yes.
Mr. Kvasivic,
Yes.
Mrs. Romasko.
Yes.
Mr. Zachary,
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Non-voting agenda items. Again, I'm going to read from Mrs. Romasco, Education and Technology. It is recommended to approve the student attendance coaches registration fee of $14.97 and application of the student discipline code for the high school varsity cheerleaders to travel to Walt Disney World to participate in the Universal Cheerleaders Association National High School Cheerleading Championship from February 6, 2025 through February 11th, 2025. Reimbursement for expenses shall be governed by Board Policy 240. Student contests, competitions, and condition on attendance and event participation. Parents and/or guardians will be required to sign permission and release forms. Chaperones will be required to have current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing, and responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening. Any questions on that? Sounds like an awesome trip. With that, did you have a question?
No.
No?
Same we did as last year,
I'm sorry,
same as last year,
same trip as last year?
same item, funding, all that, right? I believe so.
I think so. Yeah, they went last year too. All right, finance and budget, Mr. Zachi.
School district monthly bills, it's recommended that the monthly school district bills and the monthly school district personnel salaries in the amounts listed be paid. Cafeteria, it is recommended that the monthly cafeteria bills and the monthly cafeteria personnel salaries be paid in the amounts listed. 3, tax exoneration, it's recommended to approve the Borough of Ambridge's request dated August 6th of 2024 to exonerate delinquent 24 school taxes pursuant to the Pennsylvania property donation statute for the following tax parcels, with the condition that should either property sell in the future to a non-tax exempt entity, a pro-rata share of the proceeds will be remitted to the district, less the borough's direct cost of acquisition. 2 parcels are at 0 Merchant Street and 1401 New Economy Drive in Ambridge. And number 4, repository settlement. It is recommended the board approve the sale of property from the Beaver County Repository of Unsold Property for the following properties listed: 308 Park Road, 407 Melrose Avenue, 511 Glenwood Avenue, 505 Glenwood Avenue, and 4 Glenwood Drive. That's it.
Any additional questions?
The tax exoneration, once again, I love beating this up for some reason. Are we just asking to exonerate the delinquent 2024, or are we looking to exonerate the delinquent as well as future?
So the request as received or identified in that August 6th letter was a request to exonerate delinquent 2024 school taxes. And if that is less than precise, or if there is an additional request, we could certainly receive that in writing from the borough and then modify that. the borough separately would have a right to apply for a tax exoneration status, with the county, and I imagine that they would be doing that, moving forward. It may be a prerequisite that the property has no liens or delinquencies associated with it in order to obtain that status. I got some nods as I.
Okay. No worries.
Okay. Building and grounds, as Mr. Metz is not here, I'll read for him. Snowplow, it's recommended to accept the proposal from Miters LLC to purchase and install a snowplow on the district truck. This is a total cost of $97.60. The district obtained 2 quotes, and this was the lowest bidder. Number 2, NRG Direct Energy for natural gas. It's recommended to approve a 3-year contract extension between the Ambridge Area School District and NRG Direct Energy for natural gas on the Columbia Gas System to commence on September 1st, 2025. The Western Pennsylvania Natural Gas Consortium Committee recommended the contract extension. This is a no increase in cost. Any questions on that? All right, with that, athletics, Mrs. Fisher.
I just have a little point of information to share. I don't have anything on the agenda, but I was working a little bit with Mrs. Amadeo on securing bids for the system in the field house. And we did receive a few bids, and I didn't get to chat with you before the meeting, but I spoke with Richard from Brighton Music Center. This is something that is unbudgeted, and it's in upwards of $22,000. So Richard from Bright Music came out, and I did chat with him 2 or 3 times, and I know Michelle has as well. And had a little concern that it was, a pretty significant amount of money. So I asked him if there was anything that we could look at. We decided, and it's up to the board, if we wanted to wait and budget this, we could look at what he mentioned, and it's an Evolve 50 with Bluetooth that he recommended if we decide to not get the full system replaced, that we could purchase these for $1,600 a piece. And they are obviously mobile, and it would be something that we could use if we decided as a board that we wanted to table that and do it in the future and budget for it, that these would be able to be utilized for something else afterwards. Say the play, or anybody use, fun and field days and so on and so forth. But these would be things that we could use if we decided to go that route. But we can talk about it a little more. Mrs. Amadeo has both of the quotes, but those were just a few of the things that we've been working on the past few weeks on trying to gather more information on what would be feasible and where we should go as a board from there. So totally up to us if we want to discuss that at a future point. I just wanted to give that information to you, and Mrs. Amadeo could probably provide, I don't know if you have anything else you want to.
Yeah, we
Chime in.
obtained 3 quotes that we thought were significantly higher than we had anticipated. And then that's whenever I think we suggested going to, right, one of them was not great. We got great,
Right.
and they were kind of right in the same
Right.
vicinity. So yeah,
Yes.
but there's nothing else to share.
So something for us to think about and then decide on at some point what we would like to do. Just wanted to mention that so everybody was aware.
Thank you. As Ms. Fitzko is not with us this evening, I'll speak for her in that there is nothing covered under public relations or legislative. Mrs. Kehoe, steering and rules.
I have no items for discussion this evening.
Thank you very much. With that, I would only like to again congratulate Economy Elementary on that outstanding achievement. Being a blue ribbon, I'm not an educator, but to have one of our schools nationally recognized as one of the best in the country is quite something, given some of the things that we sometimes hear, right? So it's an outstanding job. I couldn't be more proud of it. I know everybody out here shares that with me, and obviously you do too. So thank you for that. With that, I will ask Dr. Pascarella for commentary.
Sure, just to go along with that, again, congratulations on the elementary school ribbon. We are going to be recognizing them. June will have some things together for us next week. We'll have a little pre-meeting for a separate dedication to them, and then they'll be recognized at the meeting. So we're really excited about that for next week. We're going to get some folks here to recognize their achievements. Like you said, really proud of the staff, students, community, parents, everyone who helps to make that school thrive. It's just an awesome award and an awesome time to recognize all of their. Looking forward to next week on that. And as we start to close up some of our fall seasons, we have some senior nights coming up. Excited for the kids. It's been a great season athletically and in the arts for the kids. So proud of them. Seem to be going overall really well. So just want to congratulate everybody, all the coaches, staff, parents, and students who are participating in fall activities, school in general. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Pascarella. Our esteemed solicitor, this is terrible.
My items were covered with you largely in executive session this evening, so thank you for that. I did attend the PSBA Solicitor Association meeting at Kalahari on Monday. That is a very long way to drive for that particular event, but I'm proud to represent actually Beaver County solicitors and the surrounding counties as well. So I attended, I suppose, on your behalf in some way, and I have some materials. So if there's any of those that are helpful to the district, I'll be happy to share those with the relevant administrators.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It is now time for old new business. Any district resident who desires to comment on any business relevant to the Ambridge Area School District should now come forward. Each person must state their first and last name and address prior to speaking. Each person will be allowed 3 minutes and can speak only once. Period for public comment will be prior to the standing committee reports will be limited to 1/2 hour. All right, if there are no takers, is it, yes?
Aye.
Sorry?
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
Ian McDowell, 1850 Ridge Road Extension. I think it's a little alarming that with our prior issues with superintendents, that we continue to go with the flow. Do we, as a board, approve or create superintendent's standards, performance standards? Okay. So what I do believe that the superintendent writes his own performance standards, and I think that is alarming. I also think that it's a little bit on the slippery side when the board votes to renew the superintendent's contract during the summer. With that being said, when are we expected to have the bus situation fixed? Is there an expectation? If there is no specific date, then why aren't we, or when will we begin compensating the parents for handling transport needs that district is supposed to be handling and is also causing financial issues due to their negligence? Also, if there aren't going to be compensating parents, then when can we start sending our children to districts that provide proper transportation and education for our children?
Question about whether or not the superintendent just unilaterally creates goals or objectives that are approved by the board. I can say that that is not the case. That has not been the case in any year. Again, that I've been associated with this role, this important role as the solicitor. There's always been collaborative. There have been times where there has to be a meeting of the minds, so that is a component of it. But each board has been able to do so with Dr. Pascarella and prior superintendents and then measure that progress and use that process to see the district move forward.
Okay, thank you. Just a quick question I have. Mrs. Turnbull did mention the renewal during the summer. I had lengthy conversations on that. Did you see any issues with timing? Was it outside of what you consider to be practice?
No, and it was not. It was, and all the sunshine law components that are required were met. They was posted in advance, and it was also shared via letter, at least to the sent to the home address of every board member, I believe at least 7 days. And I think in this case, we were certain to provide additional time and advance notice to all the board members. So all board members had advance notice and the public had notice consistent with the sunshine law. But I appreciate the comment and the concern.
Thank you for that. And
Oh, I'm sorry. I did have a question on transportation, just in reference to, I know, Kristen is here this evening, correct?
yeah. Yeah, so I know we talked about.
Or if you have something already, go ahead, and then I'll ask during that if you have something planned for
I'll
transportation.
let you take that one or you. That's good.
Sure. Firstly, Vice President from ADC is with us today. Did share some information around some additional drivers being. Would you like to share? I can circulate to that. I think the major thing to report on, I think at this point is progress have we made in hiring, Do
I have to stand up or can I?
You.
We have,
You know what? I'm sorry.
stand up.
Probably should speak in.
It has to be on the
It is recorded.
Yep.
and Thank you.
We have made significant progress. It might not feel to each individual in the room that significant progress has been made, but it has been made in the aspect that we have hired a CDL driver so that we could stop a double back of a route that was taking place since the beginning of the school year. We had 2 people pass all of the clearances that came in for orientation this week and can begin working in vans. We have 4 people coming in tomorrow to begin their orientation to start next week. We have a new class being held the 21st to the 25th of October. We already have signatures on the sign-up sheet for class. So the van drivers that are coming in are allowing the van drivers who are interested in getting their CDL to have replacements so that they can feel comfortable going into the class. And there is some hesitation with the driver shortage. They feel like they don't want to leave the kids in the van behind to get up into the bus. So having people coming in is alleviating some concerns, which means we'll have an uptick in class attendance. We have made some pretty significant staffing changes internally, and those changes are going to allow more focus on individual items instead of a group of people all focusing on the same thing, so that we can actually start and follow through to the end and be successful than having a multitude of people picking apart little things. And we've already seen significant increase in that. We are talking with drivers, fixing route sheets so that we have correct bus stop times so that we can give better information for any blasts that need to go out. The progress is moving forward, not backward. We are not losing people still. We are not seeing staffing issues like we were at the beginning of the year. There is still a large room for improvement. We are very aware of that. And that is why this next class, I think, is going to allow us to make some changes so that we can get to the point of no more double backs for big buses. That's the ultimate goal, to try to have that taken care of as fast as possible. Again, we have to keep safety of the utmost importance. So we have people here, but we cannot just push them through the process to get in, no matter how challenging it is to run routes late. We have to make sure we're making these changes correctly and in the right amount of time. I am here this evening. I can't stay as late as I have in the past, but I would be more than happy to sit with anybody here that has a specific concern that I personally can follow up on in the next couple days in order to alleviate any specific problems that you're experiencing right now. Good, thank you.
May I keep you up there for a moment?
Yeah.
So.
Go ahead.
You identified that you have obtained one CDL driver for a large bus, which you've cut back on one double. back.
One double back.
How many large bus drivers do you need?
Can I refer, I had to write
Okay,
notes
can-
because
can
all of these.
Reference
numbers-
notes, just want to make sure we're asking
all
some
of
of these
these
questions.
combinations. In order to put things back, I don't want to say the right way, but we are pulling pieces of things that are maybe shorter than others so that when we're doing the double backs, we can try to run things
Stop. To run the way that you believe to be efficient.
fully functional, ready to
How
go.
many large buses?
We would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So today we are at least short 5 CDL drivers.
Correct.
Now, van drivers.
Mhm.
You said that you have at least 2 right now.
Mhm.
And we've just approved another 5 to be background clearance, which all 5 may not go through.
Well, all 5 are not full-time people either.
What,
Yep.
to that point.
Yep.
How many van drivers?
So we're in a very good spot right now. I made reference in the update. We have about 2 more routes that we are putting on to be AM and PM.
Okay.
Once we do that, I would say maybe I would feel comfortable saying 2 more in addition so that we have a backup plan for when people are off.
Okay. So last month.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
Still irrelevant to understanding of
Correct.
where it is, where it's going.
Off the top of my head, permanently, I would say at least 4. Of those, 1 would be CDL for Ambridge. And coming up on temporary medical leave, we are going to add an additional CDL driver and I believe 2 van drivers for future, for this upcoming next couple weeks due to medical
You mean turnover?
turnover wise.
3 more employees. 2 van. Okay. So there's still definitely an uphill climb.
Yes.
That needs. I'm not asking for you to change vans to use vans for buses, large, but I'm not asking you, I'm not telling you how to run it. I just want to understand how the turnover is working, because I also believe that you've increased your sign-on bonus. I don't know if any of the PTAs are going to benefit from a payment in the near future with all the ads, but things that we've been told and things that I think everybody wants to understand. How's it going? Meaning, is everybody staying? How many people are coming on? What do you need? So
I do feel, if I can answer a little bit of that, I do feel that since we have increased the sign-on bonus, we have had more people coming in to apply. To date, I am not aware of anyone coming in at the request of a PTO or PTA, which we have definitely been tracking. One of the other things that we are looking at internally is trying to branch out to offer more things to make this something that a person can consider a job. It's not only about the pay, which we are talking about, but we are working with a company that would possibly, the way things are going, it looks very good that we would be able to roll out very affordable healthcare benefits to all of our employees. And that is a very big reason since COVID that our industry has seen a decline, because you're exposed to a lot of germs and you are not working long enough hours and making enough money to afford UPMC wonderful healthcare. So I'm just using that as an example. So working with a company that can offer benefits that are affordable so that hopefully people can start to come back in knowing that they have benefits to rely on if they do get ill. Like we deal with AFLAC, we're asking for more supplemental programs for them to offer. Just anything extra to add to the pay to make the job something that people will consider accepting. Yes.
I have a couple questions. These are a couple tough questions, so I'll apologize a little bit ahead of
It's
time.
okay.
but How many since the beginning of the school year CDL drivers do you think you've hired? And have other drivers gone to other places? Some of the new hires that you had instead of coming here with our shortage, because that's what I'm being told. In specifically, I'll say Central Valley.
Okay, so specific to Ambridge, we have lost, I want to say just this one. I don't believe we've had anybody leave Ambridge. It was starting the school year with the open gaps from last school year.
But I mean, did you have people that being sent over to Central? No,
No,
no.
no, there have been people
But
that
that's
have come
true.
to apply at the end of last school year that trained all summer. It was already known when they came to apply that they are residents in Central Valley, and
Okay.
that was the school district that they wanted to start with. There are people, because we run 4 different districts out of there, there are people that will come in and say, I'm an Ambridge resident, I want an Ambridge run. I am an Aliquippa resident, I want an Aliquippa run. We last year did a lot of shuffling between districts. We can't do that this year. There's just, it doesn't work. So it's site specific now is how I refer to it. We're not taking a Central Valley driver and bringing them over here to cover routes, and we're not vice versa doing that. We are doing that with full-time staff, obviously. So I could be driving here today in Aliquippa tomorrow. It just depends on where the greater need is, right? So most of our staff, our mechanics, our internal staff are driving in Ambridge because there's a need here. But no, we're not pulling people.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's-
Yep.
That was the, rumor that I got actually a couple calls on that.
Yeah.
So,
I know has been talk about there being higher wages in a district, so where people are, that's not taking place. Not taking place. And they're making a higher wage because of
And I
other
didn't
issues.
think- And I'll have to go back and look and I'll send it to you, but I thought somebody had sent me, and Dr. Filipowski may know this, that their child has not been picked up since the beginning of the school.
Swickley Academy.
Swickley Academy.
So that was one of the items I addressed in the update. We had been sending a van for PM. Nothing was being sent for AM. Dr. Filipowski gave me a list. I called every single family. We found out those that were currently driving their children to and from school that want the AM transportation. In relationship to that, we also had another school down in that area who we were noticing in the morning did not have high ridership in the afternoon. The van was already to capacity. St. James. So we are now doing Swickley Academy, St. James, extra vans. And by adding the AM vehicle for Swickley Academy and a PM vehicle for St. James, we're now freeing up 2 vehicles that can also eliminate the double back for Class Academy, which was causing a significant delay and or early release or departure. So starting on Monday, Swickley Academy, St. James, and the is Class Academy, I'm speaking correctly, will now be fully operational AM and PM on standalone routes.
One other one, VOTEC, are they getting there on time? The mornings,
Yeah, yes, we have not had complaints in well over.
That I didn't.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have not had any issues and I want to say 2 weeks now.
Okay.
Yeah, little baby steps.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Baby step. No, thank you for your questions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My grandson goes to Seneca Valley. I will show you in my phone how many times, and it has been every day this week and the weeks prior, that his bus ends up combined with another bus because they don't have enough bus drivers either. And every email that comes from that district at the bottom says, if you are interested in driving a school bus, please let us, and I know.
The signature of my email is if
So
you are
it's not-
looking for a job.
It's not an Ambridge issue.
What school, what company is that?
Actually, ABC is there, but also Valley,
Valley Line.
yeah, Valley Lines
Valley
is there
Line.
too. They have
Moon
two
Area School
buses.
District.
sent a press release out this week to say that they are eliminating bus stops in Moon Area School District because they don't have enough drivers. That's Student Transportation of America. Penn Hills is no longer busing to any private schools outside of their district boundaries. Their bus company is Christ. It's an industry problem. AJ Myers.
Because of
But,
the hours
yeah,
and
but
the-
saying that does not eliminate the problem that you're individually experiencing. Doesn't change anything.
And we feel.
It doesn't change.
You're on Facebook and you're in the board, school district board meeting group, you'll see.
I'm not. So nobody let me in.
Go up to economy one for pickup and see the line of cars up
Yeah.
there waiting.
So let's have one discussion. Is there anybody else that would like to make comment tonight? Okay, with that, is there a motion to adjourn? Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Hi.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned. Have a good night, everybody.